So how does this new trade deal replacing NAFTA affect you as a Canadian consumer? What difference will it make to your wallet? Well, for one, you will see some changes in pricing when you go grocery shopping, and the changes will save you some money.
So overall, Canadian consumers should expect to win as a result of this deal because they'll have access to more variety and also prices may drop over the next 5 years.
When it comes to grocery shopping, the main items you'll begin to see a drop in price in are any products that include dairy.
Canadians are forced to pay a much higher price in order to give farmers, who are not poor, higher incomes. As a result of this renegotiated agreement, US-Mexico-Canada trade agreement, now Americans have access to a larger share of the Canadian market, plus some policies which raise the price for Canadians to pay on milk. Some of those policies have been rescinded. All of this to say that the prices that Canadians pay in the grocery store for dairy, for poultry, for cheese should all come down.
Expect to see lower prices for items like cheese and yogurt, for example. Charlebois also says when you're heading to a restaurant, the lower prices for these items may in turn result in lower prices for your favorite dishes. Good news for consumers, but not for Canadian dairy farmers.
But if you eliminate Class 7, it means that most processors will start buying dairy proteins from the U.S. again because they're much, much cheaper.
So the renegotiated deal is positive news for consumers when it comes to grocery shopping, but what about online and cross-border shopping? It will be a positive outcome for consumers there as well, thanks to an increase in what's called the de minimis threshold, the amount you can bring into Canada before paying tax.
That has been raised from a really low number of $20 to $150. So that means Canadians can get access to more foreign goods without having to pay that tax. That's a good news story for consumers.
On a practical level, online shoppers, when they're going on, say, for example, Amazon.com, what does this mean for them when they're shopping?
Yeah, they're able to bring in all of those goods before any of those duties or taxes kick in. So that's a great news, which means that Canadians get access to the whole breadth of variety of products available in the global economy, not just in the U.S., but also it's going to force Canadian companies to better compete against these international competitors.
And when it comes to cross-border shopping, do we see any difference there?
Yes, the limits on what you can bring in before you pay taxes, those have now been raised, which means we can bring more stuff in before we have to pay taxes to Canadian customs.
Now, the new deal still needs to be approved by elected officials in Canada and the U.S., of course, so it will be about a year or more before you see these changes come into effect.